Hi, welcome to an episode of the Movie Screeners podcast in association with Designing Hollywood. I am your host today, Noah Aru. First things first, let me give a shout out to our sponsors, Smoke Break Productions, an upcoming production company that is creating films as well as opportunities for young filmmakers to get involved with a hands-on experience. I'm also, coincidentally, sitting across the co-founder here, so check them out on Insta/YouTube link down below. Also, I'd love to give a shout out to Gardenia Cinema, who allows young filmmakers to air their films at their cinema, so check their link down below as well. And a big shout out to Designing Hollywood Productions for being, the mother company and making this all happen. So thanks, Mom. All right, so today I have with me as our guest Sophia Falk, director, writer, producer. After this, you can probably add a actor credit. Her newest project, Dead for a Living, just premiered at Gardenia Cinema on July 2nd. Episode 1 now available to air on YouTube. New episodes air Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Go check that out, link below. She also has 2 short films out right now, Man's Lost Friend and In Person, which you can view both on the Smoke Break Productions Instagram. Again, links down below. So, how are you doing today?
I'm great, Noah. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, living life. How have things been for you the past couple of days? You still living off, the premiere vibes and all that?
Oh yeah, still living off that high. Super exciting. I mean, it was just so much fun, and we're getting a lot of great feedback on the first episode.
For sure.
Um, yeah, everybody's liking it a lot.
No way. People
So
have been big supportive about it. That's super dope.
yeah, luckily, I mean, we don't have any like hate mail yet. We
Thank God.
will, I'm sure, in the
Well,
future.
that's
But
way.
right now, it's all like good energy, which
Vibe
is awesome.
for sure. So I got a question for you also. Well, I have multiple questions for you, but how was
I
the
hope.
right? I know, geez, it's my job. So how was the experience of like seeing finally your project air on like the big screen?
It's so cool. I mean, that's really the only way to describe it. Because I wrote Dead for a Living as a short film
No way.
like a year ago, over a year ago. And it was like one of my longest short film scripts that I had ever written. So I kept thinking this is a cool idea, but it's impossible for us to make it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll put in a portfolio and someone will like it.
Right.
You know, but Gabby kind of pushed for it. Gabby, my production partner, kind of pushed for it. And a year later, she was like, "We need something on the slate. What about that short that you wrote?" And I said, "Well, I don't know about making more short films. I feel like it could be a really cool start to a series." And so we're like, "Let's just make it a pilot
Okay.
and kind of hope for something bigger than just a short film." And then it ended up working out. So it was kind of just like from no possibility of it ever being made in my own head to seeing it on a theater screen is nuts. It's just surreal.
Right? I mean, it looked great. I was at the premiere, of course, I attended
You're
and
biased though.
hey, the viewers don't know that. The viewers don't know. Yeah, I was just there as an audience.
They have to watch Dead for a Living to find out.
Exactly. They have to wonder why is it biased, right? So yeah, no, I loved no, I thought it was great. I think everyone had a fun time on it from seeing that. But what inspired you? Like what made you want to make this project? Exactly.
Well, Gabby was scrolling on Instagram or TikTok one day and found this guy that posted daily videos of himself playing dead in public,
Oh,
with the hopes of getting cast in like a NCIS show as a dead body.
no
And so
way.
she goes, "Funny guy." And one of my favorite movies of all time is this movie called Waiting for Guffman, which is made by Christopher Guest and Rob Reiner, and those guys just make the best mockumentaries ever of all time,
Yeah.
like Spinal Tap. And so
Yeah.
I love a mockumentary. I love Best in Show, whatever. Those guys, they all make like just the best mockumentaries ever. And so I thought maybe I'll try to write something like that. Uh, and we got pretty close, I think. Hopefully,
Yeah, I mean it's definitely fantastic. It definitely has I mean, I never saw the first film that you mentioned, but I mean, Spinal
Oh,
Tap,
you got to see it.
turn the knob up to 11, and it definitely has, it's definitely at an 11, so I love that for sure. And is this was your first time making a mockumentary, or?
Yeah, first time making a mockumentary. Um, I mean, not the first short film, but kind of just like
Right,
the first time I've ever like thought of anything interesting enough to make a mockumentary about it. Like
right.
kind of had this opportunity to create characters that seemed like that were insane, but seemed normal enough that you would believe that they existed in real life. And I like the idea that there's like a niche acting community that just plays dead bodies
Yeah.
and they're all super into it. And you can kind of buy it because you know that there are like crazy people in Hollywood that come out here to follow their dreams, and their dreams are sometimes really weird,
Oh,
but they do it and they're very serious about it.
right. No, no, for sure, for sure. You definitely got that down. Yeah, no, especially, the whole community. I mean, I'm sure I've always wanted to get into corpse acting myself. I hear it pays really well. It's like
Really? Well,
$700,
it's just
like, yeah,
no
8 hours.
way.
Yeah, it's like,
Oh
Garrett,
my
it's
god.
good money. No, it's really good money.
I
So
want to get into corpse acting.
that's what I'm
I want
saying.
to
No,
become Max Morris.
yeah, no, Max Morris is living big. He is living large and big. It's a good career. No, for sure. And what with making this whole production, what was the pre-production like with budgeting and finding everyone to work with? How was that process?
So that process, yeah, that was we kind of it was our most like planned out concrete pre-production that we've ever had. We kind of just picked some dates that we thought it would be doable. I think it was like 2 months out or something like that from the day we started pre-production. We were like, okay, let's pick a date and we're going to work towards that. And we picked a weekend at the end of May,
Mhm.
and we thought this is going to be perfect, and we'll have actors work around our schedule for the first time. We had like before we had kind of planned everything around everybody else because we'll do anything anytime, but it
Right.
really depended on other people. But we kind of sat back and realized like if we're going to be the heads of the production, like it we have to be the ones that are going to be able to be there the whole time, and our actors kind of have to be perfect, and they have to fit perfectly for
Right.
the perfect production. So yeah, we picked a date 2 months out, and then we just started. We've done a few productions by this point, so we kind of knew that we needed a camera, we needed certain lenses because we wanted certain shots, and we knew that we needed all of our crew. Like we knew exactly who we wanted in a crew and who we could kind of let slip through the cracks because it's a small production and we didn't want too many people on set. So we made a list, and I budgeted for like seriously for the first time ever, and that was really because we wanted to spend money on it but not spend too much money on it. So it ended up working out pretty well, but we just sat down and started working at it and met once every other day or something like that for like 4 hours.
Mm.
We just meet at a coffee shop and work it out. And Gabby kind of she dealt with most of the hiring, so she did a lot of interviews. Luckily, I that was not my job. I was very
Really?
grateful that that was not my job. And then yeah, location scouting then came next, and I always when I write, I like envision exactly where I'm describing because of places that I've seen around LA. I grew up here, so like I know a lot
Right.
of little spots in LA, and I'm always thinking like, oh, that'd be really cute, cool to shoot at, and whatever, or like, oh, this is the park near my house, and I know that no one's gonna bug us, that sort of thing. So I write a lot of park scenes. As you remember, there are a lot of park
Yeah.
scenes,
Yeah, there's a couple of park scenes
and
in Roma.
and so yeah, we just planned little things like that, and our lead actor Danny Osona,
Mhm.
he came out of the woodwork. We loved his audition, and we met with him for the first time, and we were telling him this was probably a month out from production, and we didn't have our biggest location yet. We needed Max's apartment. We didn't have the apartment, and so we went to Danny. We talked to him. We said, "Oh yeah, we don't have an apartment. So if you know anyone," and he goes, "Oh, use my apartment. I'm moving out at the end of the month,
Wow.
and the last 2 days at the end of May, I can you can shoot in because I'll be mostly moved out anyways." Turns out he
It's
wasn't mostly moved out, so
yeah.
that became that was something that we had to deal with on set, a bunch of stuff there, but it worked out, and it really was like the kindness of other people and like people wanting it to happen, which really helped us out. It was not as much work as it could have been, which I'm very grateful for.
Well, that's super dope. A lot of people, yeah. So everyone really came together and thought, everyone was really into it on this project, huh?
Hmm. Big time.
Way.
Yeah, everyone was really into it. I mean, we none of us got paid. No one got paid, so it was like all volunteer work.
All right.
And you have to think like everyone has to read that script and be like, yeah, this is something I want to be a part of.
Yeah.
People like you that like act for a living, and then you're great at it. How did we get you? How did our
With a good
how did our
project.
little rinky dink production get you?
Yeah,
Like,
no,
so it
good
was it was
script.
definitely a lot of kindness and people just being great at their jobs and being helpful.
Well, that's very dope. Thanks for that. Yes, yes, super dope. Yeah, no,
Buttering you up.
yeah, I know, right? Make me shine, make me shine. It was a very cool project. And so what was I know you already mentioned like sets and all that. Like that was like one of the big things and Daniel really came through for you. So that's cool. But what was there any other big challenges for you for this project?
A lot of it was we had a lot of issues with the lighting or like lighting rentals.
Yeah.
We originally wanted to shoot on a Sony Venice, which is like really, really expensive cinema camera, like real deal, gorgeous camera. Um, and we had a lighting setup. Our thing, like, luckily our DP knows a guy who knows a guy, and they were all so nice and kind and gave us a great deal on some lights.
Mhm.
And then about a week before production, our DP says, "Oh yeah, the lights aren't going to work because they're renting them that weekend because we were getting a discounted rate. It was kind of like a what's ever left in the garage
Oh,
type
great.
thing."
Yeah.
And so he goes, "Oh well, the cheaper lights aren't going to work, but we can get the more expensive lights for an extra, I don't know, $200 for the weekend," which is like,
That's
okay,
more
yes,
money.
either $200 or we don't have lights. I'll pay. I will pay extra. I don't care. But we ended up having to use a cheaper camera, which is still the Ari. I can't remember what it was, an Ari, but it was really still just as expensive. It looked so great, and so we had like little hiccups like that where it was like, is it going to work out? Who knows? And
Right.
then parking scared me. That parking scared me. We
For
had one set in Hollywood. Danny's apartment was in Hollywood, like 2 blocks away from Hollywood Boulevard, and I was freaking out about parking because he lives on this tiny street that was always jam packed with cars,
Mhm.
always jam packed with cars, and I was freaking out because I was like, Gabby was saying, "Oh, there will be parking there." I go, "What are you talking about? We're here in the middle of the
Hollywood.
day.
Yeah.
It's jam packed. There's gonna be no parking." So I literally went to set every single day. I couldn't sleep. I was like tossing and turning all night thinking about the parking. I saw the parking in my nightmares. I still think about the parking.
Yeah.
And finally, one day we're over there at during rehearsals, and and we had a little bit of time to kill before rehearsals, so I drove around to neighborhoods nearby, found this huge, gorgeous street, tons of parking, and I think it was like not permitted from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m.
A
And
rarity.
I was like, "That's perfect."
Yeah.
I was like, "That's all we need." I was like, "That's insane." So I like bookmarked it, and literally eh, I'm I was so excited, but I still went back like every single day to make sure that there were still spots there. Because if it was like an odd day, where there were 30 spots one day, but there were every single day, and I could sleep at night. It was so stressful.
Well, I'm glad you got your
Parking.
solace. I'm glad. I'm glad you did that. I'm glad the parking gave you some peace after you checked it.
Oh man.
Are you proud of the final outcome then of the film? You think everyone lived up to your expectations and all that?
We had a couple of hiccups, but I mean the overall like final product, it was just tough in editing, trying to find certain takes that we knew we wanted to use, like those kind of hiccups where it's like things were labeled weirdly, or or it was slated wrong, and so I don't know. That was kind of stressful. But once the final product came out, it was everything that I had imagined in my head when I
No.
was writing it. It looked exactly like I thought it would,
Well,
which is
that's
always a really good thing.
well, that's yeah. I was gonna say that's always a really good thing. That's straight
That's
up.
what you can hope for.
That's literally what yeah. That's literally what you hope for. So I'm glad that all worked out. What's next? What's the future hold for you?
A bigger project. Well, we did a pilot. Now let's do a movie. I want to
Well,
do a full. I want to do a feature length. We'll
okay.
find money, figure
Yeah.
out money. Oh, well, we were cutting everything together, and the script I think was in total was like 38 pages. And cutting it together, we originally had something that was like 45 minutes long. I think the first cut was like 45 minutes long, something like that. And I thought if we shot for 4 days. If we had shot for 3 more days, we would have a feature length movie. You know, if
Mhm.
we just buckled down and worked for another 3
Right.
days, we would have a movie. It might not be very good. It might be very rushed,
Yeah.
but we would have a movie. And
Enough.
so I thought like, oh, like what if we shot a movie in like 2 weeks? I feel like that would be doable. It would be asking a lot of people though, which is always tough.
It's a big commitment,
It's a
but
big
no,
ask.
definitely possible. Yeah, no, most definitely. I'll have to
Hopefully.
check my
I don't know.
schedule.
It has to be a good. It has to be. Yeah, it's got to be a good script.
Yeah.
Someone
Oh,
to
it's gotta
see.
be a good script. Yeah.
Hmm.
So, and kind of in honor of James Lipton here, I'm gonna ask you two questions. It's a simple back to back, because he used to do it for Inside the Actor Studio. I thought I'd carry the
Hmm.
tradition. So, what's your favorite word?
Favorite word?
Yeah,
Ooh. Oh my god. What kind of a question is this?
that's the one you really gotta think about. That's why. That's just the one
What?
you.
What the hell?
What's your favorite word?
You
Anything?
could. I'm gonna go with flubber.
Flubber?
Yeah, flubber.
I like flubber. It hits the eardrum just right, you
Yeah, I
know?
don't know if it's a real word,
Yeah,
but
no,
it's a Robin Williams movie.
yeah,
So
flubber. That's
it's real enough.
yeah, I was gonna say it's
Maybe it's a
real to
real
me.
movie now.
I
It's
saw
real to
that.
me.
I saw flubber. That was a real creation. What's your okay? So now, if I asked you your favorite word,
So the back to back.
what's your least favorite word?
Least favorite word. Hmm, dude, what's going on? Maybe like gum. I don't know.
Gum.
Gum.
Gum hits you wrong, huh?
I don't chew gum because my jaw, like I used to chew gum a lot and my jaw like freaked out one day
Just
and
lock.
it like locked, but it like hurt. I couldn't chew. And
Ow.
then I stopped chewing gum for like a week and my jaw went back to normal. So I was like, oh, I can chew gum again. Happened again after like 2 chews, locked up again. So I haven't like chewed gum in like 3 years. So
Damn.
gum.
So
Gum
gum.
because not because of what it sounds like, but because of what it
The
means. You know?
trauma it brought you through, the trauma and stress. Okay, for sure. Well done. All right, everyone has their own. And of course, just before we end things off, anything you'd like to say to the viewers before we leave?
Watch Dead for a Living on Wednesdays at 5. Every Wednesday. Please. And producers, if you're watching, it's open uh for sale. It's for sale.
Honestly, I couldn't think
You
of
want to buy it.
yeah, I
You
couldn't
want to
think
buy it.
I couldn't think of a more beautiful way to end it besides that. So, first of all, okay, great. Thank you, Sophia. Thank you for
Thank you, Noah.
coming on with us, of course. And a special thank you to Martika and Designing Hollywood, of course. I'd also like to thank you to Gardena Cinemas as well as Smoke Break Productions. Again, before we leave, all that information will be the link in the bio. Give them a follow, check them out. They're super dope. I'm your host again, Noah Aru. Submit your short films again to the email down below. Check it out. Get a chance to win your short film to be aired at the Gardena Cinema. I flubbed that one. Get a chance. Check out the link. Send in your short film. Thank you, Sophia, again. And
Thank you, Noah.
everyone have a great one, okay?